Good morning, my name is Paneca, and this is my presentation of the poster for my research. As you can see, I did a poster, the abstract, the introduction to statement of the problem, method, the objective, the findings, and students' example implication of the fields. Once I finish explaining the research, I will play a video at the end with pictures regarding while we were presenting the research. I hope you enjoy. Hello there. Today, I would like to share my research regarding how to effectively teach addition strategies in order to improve a student's math performance. The reason I chose this subject matter is because I was a math teacher first and now I'm a coach. So I felt very comfortable applying math lessons and strategies. It often bothered me that students entering the middle school had a deficit in their working understanding on how fractions work. The students took the numbers as individual integers and did not understand how the relationship was created of part of the whole and how different denominators could still be added to create that whole. The understanding of fraction is a foundational skill that many sixth graders do not master, and I wanted to see if there were any methods that will improve understanding and retention for adding fractions. When we implement a combination of instructional strategies that move sequentially from hand-on work to pictorial work to abstract work with numbers, students understand the task holistically. Of equal importance, if the drill and practice of multiplication facts enable students to recall quickly, making fractions less frustrating. The study was conducted on 12 students who came from diverse backgrounds. I worked closely with a sixth grade math teacher who was responsible for implementing these strategies and collecting data. The resources for the action research study included Grade 6 Mathematics Florida Standards, Miami-Dade County's mathematics curriculum, including worksheets and mathematics software, Mathletic software, which is an online program. The methods that we used was we administer a pre-test before we taught any strategies on fractions. This was the student's baseline score. Then we implement 3 types of learning. We taught fractions using build it, draw it, write it. Students created paper manipulatives and used plastic manipulatives as well. The questions were on the board and the student had to create the questions using the manipulative. Once that was done, the students then had to draw in the journal what the questions looked like. It was like an exploration part of the lesson. Finally, the students had to write the fraction sentences out using the numbers. They will use the journals for this, or sometimes whiteboards with erase marker. It depends. We switch practice. Once the students understood, then we could provide the students with tablets to do mathletic in class for repetition and drill, so practice. The following 2 weeks, students work on pictorial worksheets that help them with facts recall and how big or small fractions were to as a whole circle, rectangle, or triangle, depending on the figure that we were using at the moment. Lastly, the last 2 weeks, the students were involved in athletic competitions with their classmates, with other classes in the school, and internationally, since Mathletic makes it so that the students can compete all the time. With these 6 weeks, we saw an increase in understanding. The students, as seen in Figure 1, improved by an average of 24%. As indicated in Figure 2, all the students demonstrated at least some math games. Figure 2 counts the amount of times the student used the correct fact families, was 2.2 times. Students A show only minus improvement in their percentage of accuracy. All of the students in mathletic drills consisted of multiple addition problems with different numerators, such that the students had to have a solid basis on fact family. However, student A did not have a solid basis on fact family. As a result, his gain were 16 percentage points. Student B had a 26% percentage point gain. Student D had a 30 percentage point gain. Student E had a 12 percentage point gain. Student F had an increase of 31 percentage gain. Student H had an 11 percentage point gain. Student I had a 23 percentage point gain. Student I had a 23 percentage gain, sorry. Student J had a 12 percentage point gain. Student K had a 28 percentage point gain. Student L had a remarkable gain by 32 percentage points. As an average, the students had a 22 percentage point increase in their score. As shown in figure 3, all 12 students exhibited at least some increase in their attitude of adding fractions with different denominators. As weeks progresses, students became more comfortable with fact families and with changing the denominator and adding the fractions. They were able to see where they made the mistakes and they were provided with peer feedback when working in collaborative groups. After more weeks of interventions, the students were able to self-correct their work. The students showed weekly gains in their understanding and ability to quickly add fractions. At the end of the study, the students realized that they did get a greater mastery of the adding of the fractions. After considering the data, I feel I could have narrowed the scope of my students. Instead of choosing students in intensive and regular education only, I could have chosen students with documented special education needs. I could have also attend to have an equal amount of boys and girls. The amount of time in class dedicated to this subject was also not as long as I would have liked. However, given the Florida pacing guide, the teacher assisting me in this action research could have not dedicated too much time to reviewing how to add fractions, as that was a material that should have been covered in elementary mathematics. I also feel that competition is an extremely strong strategy and should be considered as a strategy when we teach any difficult math subject, since the students really appreciate the fun part of it while learning to master the math skill. This will conclude my research, and now I will play the small flip graph for you so you can see the pictures throughout the research that was taken. Enjoy, have a good one, and my name is Paneca.
We could stay forever, living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun. I could give 1,000 reasons why, but you're going, and you know that all you have to do is stay a minute. Just take your time. The clock is ticking, so stay.
I hope you enjoy. Have a good one. Thank you. And this was a fantastic class, and I learned a lot. Thank you so much, and happy summer.